Pull up any Wingstop on Google and you're gonna find terrible reviews, like the 2.8 star location behind me. Wrong orders, rude staff, 30-minute waits. For any other restaurant, that would be a death sentence. But for these guys, they're one of the fastest growing franchises in the country. And so the question is, can I get rich selling chicken wings? Today, we're gonna break their business model down. Food obtained, took about 5 minutes. It's pretty quick. So in 1994, a guy in Texas looked at every restaurant menu and saw chicken wings as like a side item, something that people just order while they're waiting for their main meal. And he had the brilliant idea that said, what if we take chicken wings, we make it the star of the show? And so he stripped away everything else that wasn't a chicken wing. 3 items on their first menu: chicken wings, fries, and soda. That's it. And instead of having some big, fancy, expensive restaurant, he put this into a tiny little strip mall that's like 1,000 square feet. No seating, just chicken wings, fast and cheap. And that was the entire business model. It worked. And people love this concept, and it started to grow and grow. Today, they have over 3,000 locations nationwide, one of the fastest growing franchises out there. The question is, do they make money? Let's get into their numbers now and break this thing down for you. So I've got 10 chicken wings here, garlic parm and their original hot. And each one of these chicken wings is gonna represent 10% of the revenue of a Wingstop location. And so if you could hand me my knife, we're gonna get going. Let's go. Their biggest food cost is the actual chicken wings. 33% of every single order goes to actually buying the food. This is the actual chicken, the wing, the soda, the fries. So we've got 10, 20, 30, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to get a third here. So that would be about a half. Oh my gosh.
Did it cut well?
No, it cut perfect. A third. By the way, we just found this thing in the shop, so it's I don't know if I'm gonna be eating these chicken wings after this, but 33%. So every time you order, 33% of their revenue out the door for the food cost. Next up is payroll. Payroll is a huge expense because all these have to get made. Now the beauty of the Wingstop model is you don't need a lot of staff. We were there earlier today, there's only 3 people working at like a peak lunch hour, and we got our food within 5 minutes because the process is so simple. And that's what's amazing about the Wingstop model is simplicity. So many businesses overcomplicate it, and they're constantly adding new items and menus and this and that. And every single addition adds to complexity. It creates friction in the business, and then they can't deliver at the same kind of quality and speed because they don't need a lot of employees compared to McDonald's, which could have hundreds. Their payroll can be a lot less and still have some mega volumes. So at an average Wingstop, they are gonna spend 25% of their revenue on payroll. That's 10, that's 20. I'll just do one of these halves here on my garlic parm for the other half. It's a pretty big wing though. It's like equivalent to some of these others, but it's good. We have cost of goods, we have payroll. Those are gonna be the 2 biggest costs of any business. From there, we get into what are called the variable expenses. These are the expenses that like rise and falls with sales. Now, most franchises are gonna have to pay a percentage of their sales to royalty to become a Wingstop franchise. Like me or you could buy a Wingstop, we can open it up just like I own this Midas. I pay 5% of every dollar that we do to Midas Corporate to be a Midas franchisee. For Wingstop, they're paying 6% of their revenue to Wingstop Corporate. They're also gonna pay another 5% for all the national advertising, all the Super Bowl commercials and all that. And then they're gonna have another 5% or so that is like credit card fees, delivery fees, all these costs that rise as sales goes up. So all in all, they're gonna spend about 17% of every dollar that comes through the door on these variable costs for the privilege and the opportunity to be a franchisee. So 17%, we gotta cut it up here. So we got 10, I think this was a half, right? That'll be 15%. And then we're gonna have to just take one of these, just a 2% off of that one, I guess. There we go, there we go. So now we're left with 25% of the business. So we've taken away all of the costs that go up and down with sales, and we're left with the fixed costs now of the business. Now, these are the costs that they're gonna have to pay no matter what. You know, my business, we have to pay rent every month. We have insurance every month. We've got utilities, we've got health insurance. We have all these different things. For the Wingstop model, what makes it really, really great compared to really all their competitors is their low cost footprint. Like that strip center we were in earlier today, really, really small. I would guess that their rent is, I don't know, $70,000 a year, something like that, where like a McDonald's could be paying $200,000 on a drive center on a major road. And you know, and it needs a traffic corner and tons of parking. But a Wingstop, they go in these very low cost, cheap strip centers. In a lot of cases, they don't want to be in A+ areas. They don't really want to be right down the street from a Lululemon or a Starbucks. They want to be in kind of the middle to lower class areas where generally real estate's cheaper, and also the products that they sell is a good price point and it's affordable, and they do a lot of volume that way. Their fixed costs are extremely low. Only 10% of their revenue to fixed costs, about $200,000 a year, all in all for rent, all the other subscriptions, insurances, utilities, all the things they got to do. So we're gonna head it and take this as our 10% that we got right here. I'm also gonna try it because I don't have to cut this one, so I'm gonna give you a review. Pretty good. Guys, like, what are they doing over there? With the sword and the chicken. All right, so that leaves us with how much money are we making for the business owner. You know, they're a franchise, which means you could own one. You could go out there and buy a Wingstop. You could open one up. You could run it. And that's the amazing thing about franchising is these brands that you see nationwide, a lot of them are accessible. A lot of people just don't know. So what's left? We have 10%, we have another 5. That's 15% of, on average, every dollar is turning into net profit for the owner. And so let's talk about what that actually means. The average Wingstop location right now is doing about $2 million in revenue every single year. $2 million out of a tiny little strip center that has terrible reviews, by the way. The owner is making around $300,000 selling chicken wings. So $300,000. Now, is this a good deal? Is this a great opportunity to invest in as a franchisee? You know, there's a couple things that determine this. One of them is what's it cost, right? Because if you said, hey, I can make 300 grand in this business, but it cost me 3 million to open it up, that's like okay. But a Wingstop, the average investment is gonna be around $500 to $600, $700,000, something in that range. But on average, they're about $500,000 because normally they try to find spots like that one. It was a former pizza shop. So it's already got plumbing, it's already got HVAC, it's already got like all the things that a restaurant needs. So for them to go in there, they can outfit that place, my guess, less than 300 grand to flip that into a Wingstop. Just like me, if I can go find another, what's called second gen automotive shop, instead of me spending, you know, $500,000 to outfit one, I've opened these up for $100,000, $200,000, like total money, because everything was already there. And I just had to go in and paint it and update the waiting room and put our signage on it. And that's a big part of how we've scaled this company now to 55 million, is finding these opportunities. And for a Wingstop franchisee, it's the same thing. They can find a spot like that, they can get it converted. If he spends $300,000 to get that thing opened, and it can make $300,000 in the first year, or you know, maybe it takes him a little time to ramp it up, we're talking a 1, maybe 2 year payback period. What investment can you make that you could put $300,000 in and you could make $300,000 back? Let's call it within 18 months. Nothing. That's why investing in a business, especially a franchise that has a copy and paste model, like nothing else beats it. And that's what makes Wingstop amazing and why they have over 3,000 locations, is that franchisees have this repeatable model that they can go over and over again. And the bad reviews can say all they want, that this food is cold, or the service is slow, or this or that, or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, people aren't going to Wingstop because it's this like great experience and you need all this trust and this and that. They go to Wingstop because they're hungry, it's relatively cheap, and it's quick. I mean, 5 minutes, I was in and out of there. And that becomes their competitive advantage. Their expectations when you go in of what you're gonna get. And that's what makes franchises so scalable. It's just this copy and paste idea. So that's what the model looks like. There are franchisees that have hundreds of locations too. It's not just, oh, you have 1 and 2. It's once they get it down, they print money. I've talked to some franchisees who literally are profitable from day one in terms of they open the business and then they make enough money to pay all their bills. Obviously they got to pay themselves back over time, but like they're not putting additional money in. I love it. If I was gonna get into any fast food franchise, Wingstop is what I would choose for all those reasons. That it's scalable, it's low cost to get into it. It has very low fixed costs on an ongoing basis, and it's a very simple model. They do one thing, it's all they really do, and they're not trying to be everything to everyone, they're just trying to serve a specific niche, and that's how you can blow these things up. So the question is, can you get rich selling chicken wings? Let me know in the comments. Would you buy a Wingstop? And what do you think of their business? And if there's any other businesses you want me to break down, just drop them below. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.